wagon in the ditch up ahead, Mr. Dixon. I think you better have a look at it.
I agree with you, Sergeant. Better take a man with you. Check the wagon and the area on both sides of the road.
Corporal?
After riding for so many hours, it's just nice to be able to stand up for a little while.
Yes, I know how you feel, Countess, but I must ask you and your brother to stay in the coach.
Why? Because some silly old wagon went off into the ditch? You worry too much, Mr. Dixon.
Elena, that is his job.
I know, and he takes it very seriously.
Looks like you got trouble.
Nothing me, a blacksmith and $10 couldn't fix. All I'm short of is the blacksmith and the $10.
Sorry we can't give you a hand with that, but we can't spare the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
You see, they're coming back. All that worry for nothing. When do we get to the Ponderosa?
Noon, or a little after that.
Just what it looks like. Wagon with a busted wheel, one man trying to fix it. Both sides of the road are clean.
Good. All right, let's move out.
Yes, sir. Move out.
It worked very well.
You stopped the coach where you said you would. I give you that.
You saw the jewels the Countess was wearing.
Gewgaws. Could have been beer bottle glass.
Diamonds and rubies. Worth more money than you ever saw.
Now, wait a minute, Peters. No matter what the Count and Countess have with them, or how much it's worth, you ain't never gonna get close to it. Not with those troopers and the Ponderosa ranch hands in your way. So that's the end of that idea.
You're wrong, Hardesty. It's only the beginning.
Everybody, you all know what to do. Now, when they come in here, Hopsinger's going to show them to the guest rooms. The guest rooms are ready, aren't they?
All ready. 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah, good.
Hey, here they come.
Detail, ho!
Count Alexis. I'm Ben Cartwright. How do you do? It's an honor to have you here, sir. Thank you. And this is my sister, Countess Elena. Countess Elena.
Oh, please, not so formal. I am Elena, and this is Alexis.
Thank you. Thank you very much. These are my sons, Hoss.
Howdy, ma'am.
How do you do?
And Joseph.
How are you?
How do you do?
How do you do? Nice to see you.
Howdy.
Oh, and this is Mr. Dixon, the United States Secret Service.
Conrad?
Mr. Dixon, nice for you to be here. Hoss, would you look after the horses and the troopers? This way, please.
The house is so right. It belongs here as if it grew like the trees.
Well, as a matter of fact, it did somewhat. When your father was foreman here, it was about half the size it is now. We've added considerably to it since then.
Speaking of my father, Stub Jones sends his best regards.
Stub Jones. Does your father still think of himself as Stub Jones?
Indeed, he does.
He still calls himself a cowboy.
Oh, gosh, there's so many things I'd like to ask you about your father, but all that'll have to wait until you've changed it. Hop Sing, will you show our guests to their rooms?
This most happy occasion for Hop Sing. This way, please.
San Francisco was a headache. The Countess decided that she wanted to see Chinatown. What she didn't realize was that everyone in Chinatown wanted to see her. We very nearly had a riot.
We got the troopers all quartered and everything's taken care of, Paul.
Good. Mr. Dixon was just telling us what it's like to travel with nobility.
Yes, I've been waiting for a chance to discuss the problems here. I think this is as good a time as any.
What kind of problems do you mean?
Well, the Count and Countess are in this country as guests of the President. Their personal safety is of great concern to Washington. And it's also my responsibility. If anything, gentlemen, should happen to either of them, it could cause an international uproar.
Yes, I could understand that, I think, but surely you're not expecting anything to happen.
The Countess has brought her jewels. Collection valued more than $250,000. It's been reported in every paper in the country. Fat target for every thief who can read.
Well, let's see now. We have a small safe here.
That will help some. But we'll also need round-the-clock guards. And with your permission, Mr. Cartwright, I'd like to check out every entrance in the house, take a look at the outbuildings, everything.
Oh, fine, certainly. Hoss and Little Joe will show you around.
You bet, anytime you're ready.
Good. If you would be good enough to put this in the safe,
Certainly.
we can do it now.
You'll make camp halfway up that slope in the cluster of trees and rocks. I want one of you standing guard watch every minute. Keep the horses out of sight and stay off the skyline. And no campfire till it's too dark to see the smoke.
Now listen, with the Count and Countess of the Ponderosa, this whole country's gonna be swarmed with troopers and lawmen.
Yes, they'll question everyone they see. That's why I want you to stay out of sight.
And what are you gonna be doing while we're holed up like prairie dogs?
Riding into Virginia City to get what I need to make you all rich. I'll be back tomorrow night. Now, go on, up the hill.
Yes, sir, when your father was foreman here at the Ponderosa, he knew every inch of this territory. And he knew every steer and every heifer, too.
Superb cattle, Mr. Cartwright. Now I understand why my father wanted me to visit the Ponderosa.
Yeah, well, if you're going to take over his job as advisor to the Russian cattle industry, he had a good idea sending you over here. See what cattle raising is like in this part of the world.
It's just beautiful.
Well, we think so. There's a lot more to see, too.
$1.
Wonder what's keeping Peters.
I've been thinking about that, too. He said he'd be here tonight. The night ain't over yet. He'll be here.
He's a foreigner, and I don't trust him.
There's no reason not to trust him. We've done pretty good since he's been running things.
Why don't you shut up and bet?
$2.
My fault. Could be a sellout. He could be telling the sheriff where we are.
Why would he?
For the reward money. Makes a deal. Sheriff gets the four of us, and he gets a pocket full of money and walks away free.
All those jewels waiting for us. You think he's going to settle for $3,000 or $4,000?
2,000. I looked at the wanted posters in front of the sheriff's office. That's all you're worth. 500 apiece, dead or alive. You know, there's one thing I can depend on, Hardesty. As soon as I'm out of sight, you try to take over. And use some of that food, Slim. Fix me a plate.
Yes, sir.
A man's got a right to think of his own neck. There were 10 of us when I joined up. Only 5 left. 3 of the men we lost were good friends of mine.
Violent death is one of the risks of our trade.
Look, risks I don't mind. Banks and stages are fine. But this Ponderosa thing, you want to get us all killed.
Nobody asked you to join us. Saddle ride out anytime you like.
Here you go, boss.
Yeah.
We rustle our own grub. Why do you wait on him like that?
Because I told him to. As long as he rides with me, he takes orders from me.
High and mighty, aren't you? You think you're better than we are. Well, I'll tell you something, mister. You ain't.
Sit down, Hardesty. Shut up.
Don't you tell me what to do from now on. Shut up!
You try that again, Hardesty. I'll kill you. I picked up something interesting in Virginia City. Read that.
Listen to this. The jewel collection is said by experts who have seen it to be worth more than $250,000.
$250,000?
That's right, Hardesty. You ride with us now or not?
I'm in. For a share of that kind of money, I'll ride even with you.
Well, tomorrow, I ride to the Ponderosa.
Ponderosa?
That's right.
Pete, I don't know what you have in mind, but I'm riding with you.
Well, I ride alone.
There isn't that much money in the whole world to
Not
risk.
just the money, Slim. I've got an old score to settle. I'm not going to miss the chance.
Howdy, stranger. Something we can do for you?
If this is the Ponderosa, yes.
You got the right place.
I've come a long way to see my old friends, Countess Elena and Count Alexis.
Your old friends. Oh, who are you?
Prince Vladimir Pavelovich Breznov. At your service.
The fellow over here says he's a prince.
Vlad. Oh, how good it is to see you.
You don't know how good it is to see you again.
What a wonderful meal. And how wonderful it is to see you here. Your father said you were someplace in America, but we'd given up all hope of seeing you.
When I read you were coming to the Ponderosa, I rode day and night.
And you'll stay as long as we do?
Well, of course he will. We have plenty of room here.
I'm in your debt, sir.
Not at all. It's our pleasure. Oh, I think we're being urged to move into the living room and have our brandy.
More better. Everybody more comfortable.
That Prince moves pretty quick, don't he, little brother? County's ain't had eyes for nobody else but him.
You can say that again.
A toast to our reunion, your warm welcome, and to beauty. Hear, hear. Mr. Cartwright, your brandy is as superb as your hospitality.
Thank you, Your Highness.
No, call me Vladdy, please. In all America, you and your sons are the only people who know I was born a prince. I should like to keep it that way.
But you are still a prince, aren't you?
Well, of course he is.
No, not here, Elena. All that was long ago and far away.
Vladdy was the youngest colonel in the Tsar's army. He won the Medal for Valor in the Crimea.
Purely accidental, I assure you.
Vladdy was also known as one of the finest horsemen in Russia.
Yes, you remember when you won the Cossacks' Cup in St. Petersburg?
Oh, barely, Elena. All that happened in a different world.
The Winter Festival? The Tsar's palace? The birthday ball. Remember, Vladdy, that's the first time you ever danced with me.
Yes, I remember. Magnificent uniforms, glittering decorations, beautiful women. And you outshone them all.
Mind if I join you?
Not at all.
You seem rather interested in the prince. Any special reason?
He's what he says he is. Alexis tells me he and Elena have known him since they were children.
But he is an unexpected visitor.
You do well in the Secret Service, Mr. Cartwright.
Paul, I'm gonna go out and see if the troopers need anything.
Fine.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll join him.
Countess, would you care for some more?
No, thank you.
Please. Vladdy, it sounds like you've been over in this country quite a while. I thought a prince had to stay around home and keep acting like a prince all the time.
Only if you are a firstborn son. Under the law of primogeniture, the first son inherits the estates and the responsibilities. But I am a second son. So I was not burdened with that. I was free to seek a career in the military or to roam the world.
And you picked the military?
Until the fighting was over. Then I decided to seek Dame Fortune in other lands. Thus far, she has been a fickle and elusive jade.
Don't you miss your home?
Home. I'd forgotten how good that word could sound.
You seem to have forgotten an awful lot.
But not everything. I've something in my saddlebag I'd like to show you. If you'll excuse me.
Certainly.
Alexis.
Time we had a little talk.
Of course. Come in. Come in.
No, Vladdy, I really wasn't surprised to find you here. I knew you'd catch up with us sooner or later. And this brief encounter can be most pleasant, as long as you remember it must be brief.
I would have it no other way.
Oh, you still have great charm. You're a liar and a rogue, but you have great charm. That performance downstairs. Prince Vladdy, second son. Too proud to live on his brother's charity, too much the dashing hussar to remain in uniform once there was no more war to fight, no headlong charge to lead. You did it very well.
You flatter me.
We both know that a second son does not inherit wealth, but he can marry it. My sister is a wealthy woman. She's also a romantic. She was once very fond of you.
And you're afraid she still is? Don't worry. All that is long since dead.
Yes, well, she doesn't know about the gambling debts, the looted mess fund, the hushed-up court-martial, which very nearly ended with you facing a firing squad. 20 crimes you were charged with.
20? No. 21.
21. Well, she doesn't know about that.
But you will tell her.
Only if I must.
With great delight, I'm sure.
No, Vladdy. With great regret. Because you see, it would hurt her deeply. And I'd like to spare her that if I can. Shall we say 3 days? And then you remember urgent business elsewhere.
Alexis, has it occurred to you I might have changed?
You have?
Yes. In the years since you last saw me, I've changed. I'm now a cowboy. I work with my hands. I'm as penniless as I was in St. Petersburg, but now I'm free to come and go as I please. And I take orders from no one.
Well, Vladdy, if it's money that you need, I certainly can...
No. I don't want your money.
Now, that's interesting. Perhaps you have changed. That's Elena's locket you have there, isn't it? You were going to show it to her to prove how much you've loved her all through the years of your exile. Three days.
Winter is the time to be in St. Petersburg. There are snow palaces and the tinkling of sleigh bells.
And slush, and wind, and frostbite. The water in the basin freezes before you have a chance to shave. That's one of the reasons that so many of my countrymen wear beards.
Don't tell all these nice people such big fat fibs.
I'll tell them about the day the ladies of the court came to the ranch to visit you.
Oh, don't you dare.
She was being considered as a lady in waiting. These two bristling dowagers came to the ranch to give their final approval.
My darling brother sent them down to the branding corral.
They arrived just in time to see Elena rope, tie, and brand a calf. Superb performance, but hardly the thing to qualify her as one of the delicate ladies of the court.
What'd the two dowagers say?
Oh, nothing. They fainted. Excuse me. You went upstairs to get something you wanted to show me.
A trinket. I couldn't find it.
And so you walked right past me and come out here? I remember a time that you used to like to show me the stars. Tell me the names of them. Look, there's Andromeda.
Andromeda's behind you.
You were so happy a few moments ago. Now you've turned to ice. What happened, Vladdy?
I was remembering, too. The night we looked at the stars from your father's garden. I asked you to marry me.
And I said I would.
And the next day, you were on your way to Paris.
Well, you know why.
You talked it over with your parents and decided you could do better than a penniless prince.
Oh, Vladdy, that's not true.
You swore to love me forever, no matter what your parents said or did. Brave words, I remember them well. Forever turned out to be a little less than 12 hours.
My mother and Dad had heard things. Gossip. And they wanted me to be very sure, and they asked me to wait for 3 months without seeing you. Then if we hadn't changed our minds, they wouldn't have objected.
Halt! Elena, get down.
Yeah, fine. Search the ground. See if there's anybody else.
Yes, sir.
He's dead.
Well, if it ain't the big man himself. Get down, pour yourself a drink.
Slim Rivers is dead.
Oh. Sorry to hear that.
What's he doing at the Ponderosa?
Oh, I sent him in to see if he needed any help. We were wondering what you were doing about the jewels.
The jewel chest is kept locked away in a safe 24 hours a day.
You make it sound so tough, Your Highness. You see, I was at the Ponderosa, too. Andy Peters, a real, genuine 14-carat prince. The Countess and you were going to get married one day. She still seemed pretty fond of you. So I'll tell you, we won't worry about that safe. Not when you got the Countess there in your pocket.
Vladdy. Still the wild man.
That horse of his puts his foot in the hole, he'll be a sorry one.
Ah, Alexis. What a wonderful day for riding.
We wondered what had become of you.
I awakened early. I thought if that man in the barnyard last night was truly an outlaw, he would have friends. I rode out looking for tracks.
By yourself? That's a good way to get killed.
That wouldn't occur to Vladdy. He used to lead charges into the jaws of enemy artillery.
But the little man in the barnyard was alone. I searched from this grove to those hills. Nothing.
Saves us the trouble. You ready to go back, sir?
On a day like this, when I came out to ride? No, what about you, Vladdy?
We ride, of course. You know, there is at least one advantage to being a second son. I'm not burdened with an escort.
I envy you that. Everywhere I go, it seems the view is flooded with soldiers.
Suppose we shake them up a little, huh? Show them how Cossacks ride.
As we used to do at home?
Fox and hounds. Ha! Ha!
Confusion to the troopers. Not very nice, perhaps, but I can't remember when I've enjoyed myself more. Well, we'd better start back.
Well, not just yet. I have some friends I want you to meet.
What do you hope to gain by this?
Elena's jewels. And a great deal of personal satisfaction.
You know, Vladdy, I really hoped that you had changed. But I suppose once a thief, always a thief?
Spoken like a true first son. All I want back from you is a little of what I lost.
You know what this will do to Elena? She's one of the few, perhaps the only one, who still believes in you.
For what she did to me, I want to see her hurt.
Your Royal Highness, let's go.
It was like the glorious days of our youth again. Alexis and I were the fox, and the troopers were the confused hounds. Alexis and I separated, which is part of the game. And I lost him. But there's no need to be concerned. I'm sure he'll find his way back soon.
Oh, sure, but you've been back for more than an hour already. He could have had an accident. His horse could have thrown him. He could be lying somewhere with a broken leg.
Mr. Cartwright, Alexis is a superb horseman.
Well, he doesn't know this country. It's very easy for a horse to step into a gopher hooligan.
Since you're so worried, I'll join you on a search. We'll look where I last saw you.
I think we should.
Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Cartwright, that area is being covered by my men. Did you happen to see anyone else while you were out riding?
No, I didn't.
Well, that's at least some comfort.
Huh? No luck. We're going to try again as soon as the troopers can saddle some fresh mounts.
You saddle up my horse. I'm going along with you.
Yes,
No, Mr. Cartwright, I'd rather you stay here with the Countess.
Let's get back to the ranch. They got Alexi.
French carriage pistols. Now, I once owned a pair like these. They were very popular with friends who were challenged to a duel and had a choice of weapons.
That's because they're so inaccurate.
Yeah. You know, even at 20 paces, you couldn't hit a barn, let alone a man. But both parties could fire, honor satisfied, no blood drawn.
Still no word of Alexis?
Not yet. But he used to get lost often, you remember? And sooner or later, he came home.
This is strange country.
Oh, yes, but the North Star is still in the same place. He always used that to guide himself.
Well, I suppose you're right. I'd like to lock these in the chest, if I may.
Yes, certainly.
Guns. Why do they fascinate men so much?
I suppose because they make such nice, loud noises.
Thank you. You won't mind if I keep this for a minute. I want to show Vladdy something that's in it.
Oh, sure.
Oh, excuse me.
It's my, most prized possession. You remember?
Yes, I remember.
It's your medal for valor, given to you by the Tsar himself. And you gave it to me in place of an engagement ring.
And you kept it all this time?
Yes. Because it was given to me by the only man I've ever loved or ever will. I told you that in a letter I wrote the morning I left for Paris.
Letter? I had no letter.
I know that now. That's why you've been so remote. You thought I turned my back on you and ran away. There was a letter, Vladdy. I swear it. I gave it to Alexis, and he promised me faithfully he'd mail it.
And he didn't? Yes, that could be. Alexis never liked me much.
Oh, he liked you?
Oh, I was not the man for his sister.
When I came back, you were gone, and I couldn't find out why or where. I just knew that you had gotten into some kind of trouble. Come home with me, Vladdy.
No, I can't. No matter how much I want to, I can't go home.
But why? Whatever you did has long ago been forgotten and forgiven.
Helena, it is not that simple.
Well, then, I'll stay here. I'll stay here or anywhere. We can start a new life together in a new country.
You would give up your family, your rank for me?
Of course.
A penniless man? You don't know what you're saying, Elena.
You're not penniless. You have these. They're my gift to you. It's enough. It's more than enough for a new start anywhere.
It's too late, Elena. No matter how much I want, it cannot be. Not here, not anywhere.
But you do love me.
Yes. In spite of what I thought you did. I guess I've always loved you.
Well, then it can be. You have news of Alexis?
Yes, Countess. Bad news.
The man that we found here last night, he apparently was part of a gang. They have Alexis, and they want your jewels.
Oh, they'll kill him?
Yes, Your Highness.
Oh, give them the jewels.
How are they to be delivered?
One man rides out alone at moonrise. He rides straight east until he's stopped. If he's followed, the Count will be killed.
I am your messenger.
I'm afraid not. The Count's safety is my responsibility.
But it is my fault if it hadn't been for that foolish game of fox and hounds.
Sorry, it's my job.
You gave me the jewels, Elena. Tell them that. With all my heart and all my love, I ask that I be the messenger.
It's Vladdy's wish. And it's mine.
Moonrise in an hour.
I shall be ready. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hurry back, Vladdy, please.
Until I see you next, remember that I love you.
They say they'll release the Count when they get the jewels. Outlaws promise. Harder to be counted on.
My sons and I know this country probably better than anyone else. I think we could track Prince Vladi without being seen.
I suggest you do it, then.
Horses saddling the horses now.
The moon's been up an hour. Where is he?
You don't hear too good. He's riding in now. All right, scatter. You're late, Prince. Put the chest on the ground and step back.
Not till you cut him loose.
No. He stays tied. 3 guns say he stays tied.
3 guns. So you finally talked them around to your side, huh?
We decided we could use your share. Now, Prince, put the chest on the ground and step back.
Get rid of him. Let's get out of here.
All right, hold it!
Buddy.
to be nice. I wish Elena did not have to know.
She won't. Dixon.
Cartwright, thank you very much.
Ben, thank you for everything. It's good to have you here. I hope you have a safe journey back. And give your father my very best regards. Tell him I'd like to see him. Elaine, I find it hard to tell you how we feel about what happened.
Thank you.
Move out.
All right, Pa. I've just been another day looking for that silver lining you've been talking about. And it sure ain't there. Last 10 head we had busted through the fence and they headed for the Ponderosa.
I can't say as I blame them. Feel thirsty enough to do the same thing.
Well, how long you gonna hang on to this wind-blown rock pile you call a ranch? I'm sick of it.
There's 3,600 acres of land here, son. It's a big stake and it's worth fighting for. I've been trying to hold on to it for you.
Your pa's right. Land's everything, Harry. You got land, you got everything.
Oh, yeah, it's sure everything, ain't it? 10 years you've been foreman on this ranch. What have you got to show for it? You got 6 months' wages you ain't never gonna get, that's what.
Now, hold on a minute, Harry.
Maybe he's right, Ed. We still gotta eat. We gotta water the horses. You get some barrels, hitch up a team. We're headed over to the Ponderosa.
Ponderosa? It's always the Ponderosa, ain't it? Great Cartwrights. Crawl to 'em on your belly. Beg 'em for a cup of water.
Harry, you know that ain't so. Ben Cartwright's always been a mighty good friend to us.
Well, there's water in town, and I'd a whole lot sooner get it there than go crawling to the Cartwrights.
Don't pay him no mind, Matt. He's young. Always was quick-tempered, fiery. More like his mother was, and he is like you. Besides, he just don't feel toward land the way you and I do.
Sure. Thank you for standing by me, Ed.
It's gonna work out all right, Matt.
No. No, it won't. This land's going to be sold for taxes. I ain't got the money to pay 'em.
Before we get to water, Harry, I got a few things to attend to. Why don't you go over and get yourself a couple of beers? Cool down a bit.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Ed, I know I shouldn't have yelled at Pa that way.
Well, I figure he understands all right. Go on, relax. See you later.
I know everybody's taxes went up, but nobody's told me why.
Cost of government went up, Mrs. Whiteman. We had to build a new school, and the salary for the school teacher went up, too.
Well, my salary didn't go up, young lady. I just don't know what the country's coming to with these high prices and high taxes.
Well, you can file a written protest to the assessor if you like, Mrs. Whiteman.
A lot of good that'll do. Well, I may decide just not to pay those taxes. Oh!
Millie,
Hello, Ed.
in 2 days, it seems like 2 years.
Ed, don't. Somebody's liable to come in any minute.
Well, put up your out to lunch sign. It's that time, ain't it?
Yes, it's about that time.
Millie, you don't know how I hate being away from you like this.
All right, I tried to be kind about this, but you don't want to listen to what I'm saying.
Don't start all that talk about you and me being all over with, because I ain't gonna listen to it.
Well, you better listen to it because it's so. Ed, it's not that I've got anything against you. It's just that...
What?
Ed, look at me. I'm not getting any younger. Do you think I like it here, working for wages? I want things nice, Ed. Can't you understand that? I want things nice.
Things are gonna be nice, Millie, if you just listen to me.
Listen to you? I've been listening to you too long, Ed. I've been listening to your promises, and the next time I listen to a man, it's going to be a man who can pay his way, not some so-called foreman who isn't even being paid his wages.
I ain't gonna be a foreman who ain't paid his wages. That's all over with. I got a plan, Millie. A big plan for you and me.
Well, another plan. Well, is it going to be like that plan of the silver mine that was worthless? Or like that Spanish Don in California that really turned out to be a Mexican gambler?
No, listen to me, Millie. How would you like to be the wife of a rancher? A big rancher with 3,600 acres all his own.
I'd like it fine. What 3,600 acres?
The Jeffers Ranch. It's going for taxes, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. $637.
And I've got it. I've been scrimping and saving all my life, and I've got it. Millie, I'll give it to you, every cent of it. And before anybody can move, you pay off those taxes, and that ranch will be ours, yours and mine.
You're never going to change, are you, Ed? Another one of your big deals. So we're going to wind up with the Jeffers Ranch, are we?
Mm-hmm.
All 3,600 acres of land that's run out of water.
Everybody thinks it's run out of water, but I know better.
What do you mean?
You know that little green meadow up in the north end of the Jeffers Ranch? Everybody thinks it's fed by a small spring from the Ponderosa. You remember I took a trip about 8 months ago?
Yes, I remember.
Well, I didn't take that trip for fun. I went to see a geologist. I told him about that green meadow, and he took out a contour map, and he figured out where there was a possibility of an underground river, and he showed me on the map where to look for it. Millie, there's enough water for a ranch twice the size of the Jeffers Ranch, just where that dude told me to look for it.
Well, how do you know? I mean, if it's underground.
Well, that's the beauty of it. I know about it, but nobody else does. I drove a thin iron rod into the ground just where the geologist told me to. And all of a sudden, there was no resistance. And I put my ear to that rod, and Millie, I could hear the water rushing by like I was standing on the bank of a river. I've never breathed a word of this to a soul till right now. Millie, I'm gonna be a rich man.
Well, why don't you stop talking and kiss me?
Hey, Bruno, how you doing?
Hello, Joe. How are you?
Good. How about getting me a beer, huh?
$50 bill. The smallest you've got, little Joe?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just did some banking for Pa. That's the smallest I got.
Oh, I'll have to get some change.
Okay, sorry about that.
$50 bill. Is that for my benefit?
Hey, Harry, sorry, I didn't see you sitting there.
You saw me. You just wanted to make the big entrance.
Come on, finish up. I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah, you'll buy me another one. Money buys anything, don't it?
What's the matter? What's eating on you?
What's eating me? You, that's what. You and your smugness, and your land, and your water, and your cattle, and your $50 bills. You've been thrown in my face since the day I was born, and I hate your guts.
Let's just say you had too much to drink, Harry, and we'll forget it, all right?
I'm not asking you to forget anything, Joe Cartwright.
Come on, Harry, let's forget it. Forget it and have a drink.
Hold it, Cartwright. I'll handle this. Go on.
Thank you, Charlie. Sorry about the mess, Bruno. I'll cover it.
Joe Cartwright. So help me, one of these days I'll kill him.
Come on. Let's get that water and get home. Give me a hand with the tables and chairs, will you, fellas?
I'll get it, Humphrey. Hello, Matt. Come on in. Good to see you.
How are you, Ben? Hobson? You busy?
Yes, I am. Doing the bookkeeping. And if there's anything I can't stand, it's doing the books, and I'm happy as can be that you came in and interrupted.
I can't stand bookkeeping work either. Matter of fact, the only kind of work I can stand is that can be done on the back of a horse.
Yeah, me too. Now sit down, have some coffee.
Thank you. Thank you, no.
Yeah, I was going over these books here, you know. I just figured something out. That the price of everything went up last year. The price of oats went up 2 cents.
Ben, I might as well meet this straight on. I'm going to lose the ranch.
Yeah, I figured something was in the wind. Tell you, man, I was thinking maybe I should come around and see you, but well, a fella just can't go barging into a neighbor's business without being invited. And what took you so long?
I don't know. Maybe I believe in miracles.
Well, this bookwork has made me thirsty. I'm gonna have a brandy. How about you? Join me? You know what I just figured out? The last time I had brandy, daytime, was the last time I did the books. Good thing I'm not a bookkeeper.
Ben, kind of hard to ask. If you let me have $5,000, I'll pay the back taxes. And the ranch is yours, lock, stock, and barrel.
Matt, that ranch of yours is worth a lot more than $5,000. A whole lot more.
If I don't pay the taxes, somebody will just pick it up for next to nothing.
No? No, I don't think so. No, sir, no. Nobody's going to pick up that ranch of yours for the tax money. And I'm not going to buy it. All that ranch needs is a little money and a little water.
Just so happens that I've run out of both.
Just a minute, Matt. Run away. Now, what's the best source of water in this part of the territory?
I don't see what difference that makes.
Ponderosa. Best source of water in this part of the territory, right? Now, how long do you think it would take to...
I don't...
Wait a minute now. How long do you think it would take to run an irrigation channel from the Ponderosa over to your place? Week? No more than 10 days.
This is kind of hard to say, Ben, but you'll understand having boys of your own. With water, Harry'd see a real working ranch. And I think he'd turn out to be just like little Joe, which is something I've wanted all along.
Well, now, I take that as a compliment for little Joe. And for myself. But first things first. Now, we're going to get you a loan so you can pay the taxes. And then we're going to collect some people and the right kind of equipment. And we're going to run that irrigation channel right over to your place and get some water for you. Friend?
Friend. Your handshake is good. And I thank you for knowing that mine is, too. But I'd like this all legal and, papers drawn up and all.
Well, if you wanted legal papers drawn up and all, you just go ahead and draw up the papers and send them over to me and I'll sign them. Now, drink up.
How does a man say thanks?
Matt, I had to punch you right in the nose for not coming to me 6 months ago.
Thank you. Oh, hello, Mr. Jeffers. Can I help you?
You sure can, Millie. I'm missing a foreman. I figured I might find him around here.
Mr. Jeffers, I haven't seen Ed since noon.
Well, that's quite a while for you two to be apart. Would you get out my tax bill?
Do you want to pay it, Mr. Jeffers?
Oh, you're doggone right I do. And that ain't the half of it. Ben Cartwright's going to run water over to my place. I'm going to be able to restock. Millie, that foreman of mine is going to be a mighty good catch for you yet. We're going to have a small-sized Ponderosa out there.
Well, this is a surprise. I'm very happy for you, Mr. Jeffers.
Well, thank you, Millie. And you know what? I'm going to rebuild that foreman shack into a nice little house, just in case some couple might want to live in it.
Millie, I thought this day would never end.
Oh, well, neither did I.
Millie, honey, what's the matter?
Millie, honey, what's the matter? You know, today for a minute you really had me convinced. Oh, I ought to have better sense than I ever listened to you and your harebrained schemes.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you and your big plans for taking over the Jeffers place. You and your underground river. Buying the place for taxes, you
Well,
said.
I told you the truth. It's all set. I got the money for the taxes.
The taxes have been paid.
What?
Matt Jeffers came in today with the money.
Where'd you get it?
Ben Cartwright gave it to him.
He didn't.
Oh, he sure did. Where does that leave you, Ed? Hmm? Cartwright's going to help him restock and channel water in for him.
Well, I can't let that happen. I can't let Ben Cartwright get in my way.
How do you plan on stopping him? Cartwright and Jeffers have been friends for a long, long time.
There must be a way. If I could drive a wedge between them, I'll do it. I've got to do it.
Oh, well, you've got to do it, Ed. Because that's the only way you're going to get me.
You sure worked hard, long time on this map, Mr. Cartwright. How long now before you come to dinner?
Well, Joe isn't here yet. The moment he gets here, we'll sit down and eat, all right?
Well, Paul, we're going to have some difficulty getting all the men we're going to need. I rode all the way down into the Carson Valley, and looks like every man from 8 to 80 has gone to Idaho on that silver strike.
What about Phil Ewing? He usually knows where there's some extra men.
Paul, he's the first man I went to. But it seems like every available hand is over at the Yellow Jack or some of the other mines.
Oh, yeah, they're doing that improvement work, aren't they?
Hey, Pa, how you doing? Hoss?
Hi, Joe.
Joe?
Here's that payroll money.
Wish we could hire ourselves some hands to help dig that channel for Matt Jeffers with this payroll money.
Yeah, what's all the talk about Matt Jeffers?
Well, you know, his ranch is dry as a bone. I promised I'd dig him a channel, get some water over there, but we can't find the man to do it with.
Paul, Mr. Jeffers is hung on now for this long. Looks like another couple of days or so. Wouldn't be that important.
Well, it may take more than a couple of days. Anyway, it's not only Matt. He's having some problems with his boy, too.
I had a few problems with Harry myself today. I had a run-in with him in a saloon.
What about?
Well, it wasn't about anything. He was feeling kind of low, had a few drinks too many. He took a swing at me, and we got into it. Kind of busted things up a little bit in the bar. $40 short.
Fine. Joe, I don't like hearing things about you having fights with anybody, but particularly Harry.
Well, I don't like getting into him either. I've forgotten about it. I'm sure Harry will, too.
Well, how are we going to get this channel dug?
Paul, I was just thinking, if we're up to date with all of our timber contracts, can we bring some of those crews down here and put them on this project?
Not a bad idea. Joe, how about you running up there tomorrow and see how things are getting along?
Do it first thing in the morning.
All right.
Everybody better come supper now, before last venison roast becomes small like a lamb chop.
Here we come, Upsy. See if I can't get you a deer tomorrow.
How's it going?
Well, it's coming along all right, I guess. Find any more breaks in the fence, did you?
Couple of them.
You didn't tell Pa about me and Joe Cartwright getting into that fight, did you?
No. Told you I wouldn't.
I don't know what it is, Ed. No sense in trying to talk to Pa about it. It just seems as long back as I can remember. You know, he's been saying, well, Joe Cartwright, he wouldn't do it this way, and he wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah, I guess your Pa does like the Cartwrights, but in view of what just happened, you can't really blame him.
Well, it wouldn't make no difference if Ben Cartwright hadn't offered to help. As long as I can remember, when Ben says frog, Pa jumps.
Well, you gotta admit, Ben's helped him more times than you can count.
Well, I almost wish he hadn't offered to help this time. Gotten so sick of this place. I'd like to leave it and never see it again.
Oh, that's no way to talk, Harry. The only way a man will amount to something is to own land. Look at this matter. Prettiest thing you ever seen. Of all 3,600 acres, look just like that.
But they don't. It's only this little green patch. And even it's watered by the Ponderosa.
Yeah, it does seem we depend a lot on the Ponderosa, doesn't it? Well, I guess I better get back to work.
Ed?
Yeah?
Guess I'd better tell Pa about that fight with Joe, huh?
If you don't, somebody will. See you at supper time, huh?
Sounds like somebody was luckier than we were, Cochise. Come on.
Someone shot me, Ed.
Yeah, I saw him. It was Joe Cartwright.
Joe Cartwright.
Joe Cartwright. Take it easy now. I'll get you home.
Harry, talk to me. Can you hear me, son? What happened? Who shot you?
Joe Cartwright.
Doc.
I'm sorry, Matt. I did everything I could.
Joe Cartwright. I can't believe it.
You heard him, Matt. I wish I could change it, but you heard him.
Joe Cartwright would never do a thing like this.
Well, that's not for us to decide, Doc. I think we ought to let the sheriff do the questioning.
He's right, Matt.
Will you take care of it, Ed? I can't talk to nobody. Not right now.
Sure, Matt. I'll take care of everything.
Clem, I didn't even see Harry today.
Maybe so. I've got a dying man's statement and 3 witnesses who heard it. I figured that was enough or I wouldn't have brought you in. I also have your rifle with the shell casing still in the
I told you I took a shot at a deer.
Yeah, you told us.
So it took so long, Joe. We just got back to the ranch and heard what had happened. Now, Clem, what is this? Harry Jeffers was ambushed. Before he died, he said he was shot by Joe Cartwright. Now, that's ridiculous. Ben, there were 3 witnesses. They all heard him.
He's right, Ben. I was there.
All right, Joe, what do you say happened?
I don't know what happened. I don't know why Harry would say I shot him.
I heard Harry, with his last breath, say that Joe Cartwright shot him.
All right, Ed, that'll be enough of that.
Enough of that? What are you gonna do, slap him on his wrist because he's a Cartwright and then tell him not to do it again?
You know better than that, Ed. There'll be an inquest and then a trial if it comes to that. Now, you get out of here.
An inquest? And Ben here will hire a fancy lawyer that'll twist the jury around until he's a regular hero. Probably get a medal for bushwhacking a 22-year-old kid.
Joe, you'll be notified about the hearing, so don't leave the Ponderosa. I'll have to keep the rifle for evidence.
Clem.
Even murder's all right when you're a Cartwright, ain't it?
Joseph.
Oh, Ed, I've got to hand it to you. I didn't think you'd go through with it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Ed, let's don't play games. You said you'd figure out a way to drive a wedge between Ben Cartwright and Matt Jeffers. Well, you did it. You killed the only thing that meant more to him than that land.
You don't believe Joe Cartwright shot him?
Oh, of course I don't. He didn't have any reason.
Well, it was that big fight over in the saloon.
People know Joe Cartwright better than that, Ed. They'll need more reason, too.
All right. I'll give you one. It was a hunting accident. Little Joe took a shot at a deer and hit Harry. When he saw Harry was going to die, he just ran off, figuring Harry wouldn't live long enough to say who it was.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. There's no way of proving it, though.
Well, it could be. That was Saturday, your day off, remember? Don't you usually rent a buggy and go for a drive?
I did rent a buggy. I went for a drive.
Then you could have seen the whole thing.
Oh, yes, I could.
Of course, it's taking a chance.
Oh, well, it's also 3,600 acres of rangeland with an underground river.
Joe, a lot of people heard about that fight you had with Harry. Not gonna help matters too much.
Mean anything? Harry lost his temper and we got into it, that's all.
Joe, you don't have to explain anything to Pa and me.
I've asked Jeremy Grant to come out to the house, Joey. I think we'd better to talk out here than in his office.
He's as good a lawyer as he is in the territory, Joe.
Yeah. It's beginning to look like I'm gonna need the best lawyer in the territory.
Matt, I know how you feel about Ben Cartwright, and Harry knew it too. But you can't let your feelings blind you to the facts.
I just don't believe it, that's all. Ben was trying to help me.
Was he? He was going to channel in water to you, wasn't he? Matt, he hasn't turned over one shovel full of dirt. And what's more, he didn't intend to.
Ben wouldn't do a thing like that to me.
Oh, wouldn't he? Well, look at it this way. Suppose you had given him this note. Without that water, you couldn't have made the first payment. And the minute you defaulted, Ben would have your ranch. Don't you see that's how he planned it?
But I offered him the whole ranch for $5,000 and he didn't take it.
Do you think the great Ben Cartwright is going to let people know that he bought you a ranch for $5,000 when you were down on your knees? Not ever. This way, he could tell people that he tried to help you, but it just didn't work. He can say how sad he is about it all, but he'll still have your ranch.
I don't know what to think anymore. Why'd little Joe kill my son?
Well, I don't think that was intentional, Matt. I think Joe shot at a deer and hit Harry. When he found out how bad the boy was hit, he took off. Thought that Harry wouldn't live long enough to say who it was. So he didn't have a reason. Figured he could get away with it, being one of the Cartwrights.
Joe's one of the best shots in the country.
Anybody can miss. He did. As bad as the accident was, the real crime was his running off and leaving Harry like that. If I hadn't come along and found him,
I know. I'll always be grateful to you for that, Ed. At least the boy died here at home. Home. That's what I wanted most for him. This place is closing in on me. Too many memories. It'll take me a little ride.
Sure, Matt. Go ahead, I know how you feel.
Joseph, you feel you've told me everything there is to tell?
That's all there is.
Well, Jeremy, what do you think?
I've been your lawyer for a long time, Ben. I know you like complete frankness. There isn't time to do much before the inquest tomorrow. And in the absence of any new evidence, I'd say there's a 50-50 chance that Joseph could be indicted for murder.
There's nothing else we can do, right?
The important thing is to get ready for the trial itself. And I'll get back to town now and concentrate on that. Goodbye, Haas. Joseph.
Jeremy, I want to thank you for coming out.
Not at all. It was the thing to do. They told Joseph to stay in the Ponderosa, and at this point, we'll stick right to the letter of the law.
Yeah, look, I just can't figure Joe as... Look, that young Harry must have had somebody that had something against him. Look, if there's some way of finding out, maybe I could go out and talk to Matt. Would there be anything legal against me doing that?
I see no reason why you shouldn't. You think he'll talk to you?
No, but gotta make a try.
I think you should. Goodbye, Ben.
Bye.
It's gonna be all right, Joe. It's gotta be.
Hey, Matt! It's Ben Cartwright. I want to talk to you. Matt! What's the matter with you? Didn't you hear me? It's Ben Cartwright. I want to talk to you. Put away that rifle.
I thought I heard some shooting back this way.
Oh, it's a coyote. Right out here in broad daylight.
You get him?
No, but I run him off. Matt, why don't you come on in and get some rest? You haven't eaten or slept.
I'll try, Ed. I can't think of anything else except that inquest tomorrow.
Well, it's got to be done.
Gotta be done.
And then his father asked him who shot him, and Harry said, Joe Cartwright. Those were his last words.
Your corroboration of the deathbed statement is now a matter of record. Thank you, Dr. Martin. There is one additional witness. Miss Millie Perkins, will you come up, please? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you're under oath. Now, would you tell your story in your own words?
The day that you're talking about. Well, it was Saturday and the office was closed. I rented a buggy and went for a drive.
Now, when you say the day we were talking about, you mean the day Harry Jeffers was killed? Go on.
I drove to that pretty little green meadow that I like to go to. It's on the Jeffers Ranch.
This is unexpected. I hope it doesn't mean any trouble.
Miss Perkins, remember, you are under oath. Go on.
I was riding along that road dividing the Ponderosa from the Jeffers Ranch when I saw Joe Cartwright riding down a slope. He stopped, and then I saw him draw his rifle and fire. And all of a sudden, he turned his horse and rode off.
Well, now, you heard Joe Cartwright's testimony. He mentioned hearing a shot. Did you hear any shot other than the one he fired?
No, I didn't.
Joe Cartwright was out there. This may not be a court of law, but it is a coroner's inquest. And I'll either have quiet or I'll have the sheriff clear the room. Now, Miss Perkins, what did you do after that?
After that, I came on back to town.
Miss Perkins, if you had this information, why didn't you say something before this?
I didn't think anything of it until Ed Phillips showed me where Harry Jeffers was killed. Then I realized that it must be Joe Cartwright's bullet that hit him. He must have seen Harry fall, but he just rode off and left him lying there.
Ben Cartwright, you don't have to steal my ranch. I'll give it to you. And I don't want any more over the
That's enough.
All I want to do is see that murdering son of yours hanged.
Jeffers, you be quiet. Get back in your seat.
I have warned you for the last time. I declare this inquest in recess, and when we reconvene in 15 minutes, You'll either conduct yourselves in a manner befitting the occasion, or I'll hold you all in contempt, and I have the authority to do so.
Sit down.
Matt, I've got to talk to you. Let's get away from here. Come on, come on.
I can't figure out why she's lying. She couldn't have seen me fire the rifle. I didn't even fire it in the same direction that Ed said he found Harry's body.
Matt, you gotta listen to me. What you just said in there about giving him your land, that's all he wants. That's all Ben Cartwright ever wanted. Matt, look. There's $640. It's every cent I got in this world. You take it. You take it and you pay off Ben Cartwright. I'd rather spend my last cent buying a worthless piece of land than let Ben Cartwright have it.
Thank you, Ed.
Cartwright, there's the money you loaned me. I owe you nothing more. But you owe me for the life of my son, and you'll pay me with the life of yours.
This inquest will come to order. Miss Perkins, would you please return to the witness chair? You're still under oath. Now, do you have anything to add to what you've already told us?
No, I told everything.
Very well, you're excused from the witness chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Avery, with your permission, before the witness leaves, may I ask her a question?
You may, if the question is pertinent.
I believe it is. Miss Perkins, you testified that you rented a buggy on that day.
Yes, that's right.
Would you tell us who you rented it from?
Jake Johnson's livery stable.
That's right, Ben. Always does rent one every time she's got a day off. I remember my wife was doing a big washing that day.
Jake, I think you've answered the question. Thank you.
And then you testified, I believe, that you drove out to the Jeffers place to where it borders the Ponderosa in that green meadow.
That's right.
What is this? She's already answered those questions. What are you trying to do, Cartwright?
I'm just trying to do what everybody else is trying to do, and that's to find out how this terrible thing happened. Would you mind telling us what time you returned to Virginia City?
I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock maybe.
6:30 or 7 o'clock, maybe.
Maybe.
Jake, could you help us out here? Do you know exactly what time Miss Perkins brought that buggy back to your livery stable?
I sure can. I always look after these things. It was exactly 5 o'clock.
Exactly 5 o'clock. Not 6:30 or 7 o'clock, but 5 o'clock.
That's enough of this. What's he trying to prove?
Now, according to the record, Mr. Avery, what time did the shooting take place?
3:30 in the afternoon.
3:30 in the afternoon. And you did say that you were a witness to that shooting.
Yes.
And you saw the shooting at 3:30, and according to Jake, you were back in Virginia City at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Why don't you quit badgering her, Cartwright? You don't have to answer him, Millie. He's just trying to rattle you.
Mr. Avery, I would like an answer to this question.
Answer the question, Miss Perkins.
Well, I told you I don't remember what time it was. How would I know?
Leave her alone.
What's the matter, Ed? Don't you want the truth?
She's already told the truth.
Be quiet, Ed.
Well, he's just leading her on, trying to get her mixed up.
Go on, Mr. Cartwright.
Matt, you heard Miss Perkins testify that she was a witness to the shooting at 3:30 in the afternoon. You heard Jake tell us that she returned the buggy to him at 5 in the afternoon. Now, you've ridden out from your place to Virginia City maybe hundreds of times. How long does it take you?
2 hours on a fast horse, and a lot longer in a buggy.
That's right, Matt. 2 hours on a fast horse and a lot longer in a buggy.
And if she saw the shooting at 3:30 and was back in Virginia City by 5...
That's right, Matt. It took her an hour and a half to get back in that buggy.
She never saw that shooting, Ed. She's lying.
She's not lying. You all heard her. You're mistaken, Jake.
How could I make a mistake? I get paid by the hour. I got it all down in my record book. It was exactly 5 o'clock.
Miss Perkins, do you wish to reconsider any of your statements? Otherwise, I must warn you, I consider the possibility of perjury.
It wasn't my fault. Ed Phillips...
Millie! Millie, you don't know what you're saying. She's all mixed up.
Ed Phillips threatened me if I didn't lie for him.
She's lying. Millie, you don't know what you're saying.
Don't blame me, Ed Phillips. You were trying to keep Matt Jeffers from making a deal with the Cartwrights. That's why you killed Harry Jeffers.
What? I had it. I had the ranch, Millie. Cartwright. Ed, you're in a lot of trouble. Put it back here. Matt, I didn't mean to kill him. I just wanted the land, Matt. Man without land ain't nothing.
Why didn't you speak up, Ed? Why didn't you speak up? I owed you for back wages. I owed you for 10 years of loyalty. I didn't want to give you half of nothing. After we had water, I was going to make you partner.
Come on in.
Joe? I'm sorry. I didn't want to bleed.
I understand.
We all do, Matt. Like I said the other day, there's no one we'd rather have as a neighbor than you.
Thank you, Ben. I know. But with Harry gone, it's...
Well, seems to me like he'd want you to go back and build up the ranch, Mr. Jeffers.
Could be a fine ranch.
Did you say could be, Matt? It will be. Now, come on, we got ourselves a water channel to finish. Let's go.
All right, men. You know your orders. Move out, Benson.
Pauline, don't you think somebody with experience ought to steal those horses, like maybe Samson here?
I give the orders. I expect them to be obeyed.
But I know the Cartwrights. If I get...
I gave you an order, Benson. Now carry it out or face court-martial.
Did you just hear something?
What was I supposed to hear?
I just heard the gate squeak.
Go after those horses, Captain. Send Vanson after another one.
Yes, sir, General.
Did you lock the corral when you... Couldn't hear anything over that snore. I'm gonna check it. Unbelievable.
Hey, Pa, somebody's stealing the horses!
They have guns. Retreat.
Ever seen him before?
No, never have. See anything?
No, it's too dark. If there's any of them left, they sure scattered.
Well, let's get this one into town. Saddle up the horses.
Yes, sir.
What do you figure they'll do to Samson?
Put him in jail. We'll get him out. And when we do, Virginia City will have reason to remember Napoleon.
It might go a lot easier with you, boy, if you told us who was with you.
You and everybody else gonna be sorry you ever saw me. I got friends who are gonna bust me out of here.
I'm telling you here and now, start talking.
I done my talking. You're gonna get your town tore up.
It's no use, Ben. I'm not going to get a thing out of him. I wrote the sheriffs in adjoining counties and might turn up something on them. Just can't figure what's eating at some of these youngsters today.
Somewhere I can call home.
It might go a lot easier with you, boy, if you told us who was with you.
You and everybody else gonna be sorry you ever saw me. I got friends who are gonna bust me out of here.
I'm telling you here and now, start talking.
I done my talking. You're gonna get your town tore up.
It's no use, Ben. I'm not going to get a thing out of him. I wrote the sheriffs in adjoining counties and might turn up something on them. Just can't figure what's eating at some of these youngsters today. He's barely old enough to shave. He's old enough to steal horses. He's old enough to go to jail.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, see you later.
Grace? Donnie? Hey, Don, when are you coming out to the Ponderosa to bring some horses for me?
I've got other things to do.
Donnie! Where are your manners?
So long, Mr. Carter.
Ben, I'm so sorry. I just don't know what to do with that boy. He's changed. He's never around anymore. He used to help me out over at the store all the time, but... well, lately he's... Ben, you understand, boys. I wish you could talk to him. He misses his father so much. Well, so do I.
We all do, Grace. He was a good friend. But, Donnie, you know, it's one thing to raise 3 sons of your own. It's another to talk to somebody else's son. Tell you what you do. Why don't you bring him out with you Friday night to the school benefit social at the Ponderosa?
Well,
Well, you are coming now, aren't you? I mean, what would we do without one of your famous chocolate cakes?
Of course, Ben. I wouldn't miss it for anything in the world.
Good.
Well, I'd better be going now. I have to open up the store.
See you Friday.
Napoleon Bonaparte was considered the greatest strategist and natural commander of all time. And that's the way we're going to run this army. Just the way Napoleon would have run it.
You planned things last night, Napoleon. They didn't go too good.
You're wrong, J.W. It was a training mission. Do you know what blooding the troops means? Put them under fire. Watch how they react. That's what I was doing last night.
Samson got caught.
We'll get him out. You're late, Private Benson.
I had to help my mother at the store.
What kind of an excuse is that? You know your way around Virginia City pretty well, don't you?
Yes, sir. I lived there all my life.
The rest of us aren't known over there. And I don't want us to be. Not just yet. Could you get me the layout to the jail?
Sure I could, Napoleon.
All right. Let's see exactly what kind of a spy you'd make. Exactly what happened in Virginia City today.
Nothing special. Most everybody's getting ready for that big benefit social out at the Ponderosa Friday night. And Ben Cartwright was in at the jail, but Samson didn't talk.
Of course Samson didn't talk. He's a soldier. And I'm going to give you a chance to be one. I want daily reports. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
We're not going to hold any more meetings here. That drunken uncle of mine is beginning to ask too many questions. You'll never meet me in the same place twice. You understand? Benefit social, huh? And we've already had a chance to look around the Ponderosa.
I don't know, Napoleon. We've never tackled anything like the Cartwrights before.
You've got it wrong, J.W. The Cartwrights have never tackled anything like us before. Now scatter, men. I don't want any 2 of you seen at the same time, together. My uncle's coming back here in a few minutes.
Well, I was wondering if you two were going to get here.
Hello, Ben. We had a last-minute rush of business at the store. Oh, Ben, the place looks just beautiful. Doesn't it, Donnie?
Yeah, it looks all right.
Grace, if I know boys, and I think I do, at least I ought to, I think that table back there, the one with the food, is the one that's going to interest Donnie most. Donnie, how about coming over there with me? We'll have something to eat. There's enough for everybody. Let me take that beautiful chocolate cake. Boy, that looks good. That's good.
You're as bad as Donnie.
Oh, it's good. Hey, Donnie. Think that you and I could finish this just by ourselves?
I don't like cake that much.
Grace, let's have some punch, huh?
Oh, yes.
Grace, Donnie's going to be all right. Now, stop worrying about him.
Ben, I wish you could talk to him.
Look, you're here to have a good time, so have a good time.
This was a marvelous idea of yours, raising money for the school this way.
Well, I think by the time we have a big meeting at the town hall, we'll have reached our objective. Grace, will you excuse me? I see the sheriff wants to see me. I think we're not in trouble. You had a good time? What's on your mind, Clem?
Well, I thought you might like to know I got a report on that horse thief you caught.
Well, that's fast work. All right, what'd you find out?
Well, not the first time he's been picked up. Been in trouble in Carson City. Always runs with a gang from Gold Hill.
Gold Hill, huh? I heard there's a pretty rough gang of kids over there.
Well, they stay on their own side of the divide. Not much I can do about it.
This fella Sampson. What he did, was that serious?
Serious enough. Going back to Carson City Monday morning to stand trial. I believe that boy's going to prison.
Young fella like that, too. Well, I see you're sampling the food. Don't forget to leave your donation.
All right, men. You've been trained thoroughly for this mission. The key to our success is speed and surprise. Rep.
I get the guns.
JW.
I get the cash box.
Fritz.
I get guns, too.
The rest of you men know your assignments. See that you carry them out. We attack simultaneously on my command. Operation Austerlitz.
Where you gonna be, Napoleon?
At my command post. All right, put on your mask and move out.
Donnie? How's it going? Having a good time?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, you and I, we ought to have a long talk one of these days.
What about?
Nothing in particular. Just that your father and I, we were close friends. I know it seems to me that a fellow needs a man to visit with sometime. So.
My mother's been talking to you about me, hasn't she?
Was it? Yes. Yes, she has, Donnie.
Well, listen, you tell her to quit worrying because there's nothing wrong.
How much is he?
$2. Thank you.
Austerlitz!
Little boy try to steal horse. Little boy break up social. In China, little boy have respect for elder. Should be same thing here.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Hey, Clem, come on in.
Joe.
How you doing?
Man, hot thing, hot. Clem, good to see you. Your timing's not too good. We just finished eating, but Hop Sink can rush up some food.
Oh, no, I don't want anything to eat. Listen, Ben, I took a ride over to Gold Hill to just check, see what I can find out about that gang kid's been raising such a ruckus over there. I ran into some kind of strange story.
Huh?
The leader of this outfit calls himself Napoleon.
Napoleon?
That's right. The gang's his army. He drills them, figures out every single move he's gonna make.
Well, that bunch of kids that was over here sure had things planned out, didn't they?
Well, that's what I figured.
They stole their donation money and 6 guns.
Now, he lives with an old duffer. He used to be a professor. That mean anything to you?
Say, there was a fella here about a month ago. Spent a couple of hours with me right here. He was a professor from back east. Lives around here somewhere.
You know where it is?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
think you can find a place?
Oh, sure.
Well, let you and I go and have a talk with him.
See you later. This must be the place.
Come in. It's not locked. Gentlemen, welcome. What can I do for you?
Professor, it's good to see you again.
Oh, Mr. Cartwright. Yes, it's very good to see you.
Clem Foster, Sheriff, Virginia City.
Very happy to know you, Sheriff. Mr. Cartwright, I've been planning to pay another visit, but my research has kept me pretty much tied to my desk.
What kind of research are you doing?
History, Mr. Cartwright. History. Even before I was a professor at Harvard University. Excuse me for a moment, please. Medicinal. I've felt a cold coming on. Would you gentlemen care to join me?
No, thanks.
Thank you.
Those were happy days at Harvard. All those eager young minds thirsting for knowledge. Oh, I forget myself. Surely you didn't come by to listen to an old man prattle on about the past.
As a matter of fact, we came to ask you about a young man, Napoleon, I think he calls himself.
Yes, Napoleon. His real name is Ted Arsenault. He's my nephew. He's an avid student of the Napoleonic Wars, and that explains his nickname.
Could you tell us where we might find him?
Oh, he comes and he goes. That's the way it should be.
Honey? Where'd you get the gun?
Well, in at the store. Mom said I could practice with it.
Mind if I have a look at it?
Sure.
Doesn't look like a very new gun to me. It's pretty well used. Now, you didn't get this at the store, did you?
No, sir. I found it. I was afraid you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
I think maybe we better take this back to town and find out who lost it.
I was just practicing with it.
How'd you get out here?
I thought I'd take a walk out here by myself for a while, that's all.
Well, I'm going back to town. Mount up, I'll give you a ride back.
Yes, sir.
Woo! 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 Move up. Move. All right.
Hey, Joe. Hey, how you doing, Pa? So you picked up a stray. How you doing, Donnie?
Yeah, picked Donnie up ways out of town. How's everything going?
Just fine, fine. I picked up the mail, got all the papers straightened out. How long are you going to be in town?
Oh, about an hour or so. Why?
Good deal. I'll wait for you. Ride back home with you.
Fine. Where'll you be?
I'll find my horse.
All right.
Donnie, Ben.
Clem. Donnie here found a gun near the Black Rock cutout, wasn't it? And he wanted to bring it in here.
You found this?
Yes, sir. Just like Mr. Cartwright said.
It could be one of those stolen at the Ponderosa. I'll check into it. Owner always recognizes his own gun. And Donnie, thanks a lot for bringing it in.
Sure. Can I go now?
Certainly, as far as I'm concerned. All right, Ben, what's the rest of the story?
Oh, I was just riding along right near that cutout, and I heard some shooting, so I went over to investigate.
Uh-huh.
And Donnie was there, and he was practicing with that gun.
You think he found this?
Oh, I don't know, Clem. I know his mother's worried about him.
Yeah. I suppose I'll have to tell her. You know, Ben, that's part of this job they don't say anything about when they put your name on the ballot.
Bye, Ben. Thank you for coming in.
Well,
I'll get your order out as soon as I can.
thank you. I'll see you soon, Grace.
Donnie? Donnie, come here a minute, please. I'd like to talk to you.
What about?
Donnie, you know how I feel about guns. Whether you found that gun
Boy,
or did...
that Ben Cartwright couldn't wait to get over here and tell you all about it, could he?
Ben Cartwright had nothing to do with it. Clem Foster told me about the gun. Well, he had to. It's part of his duty.
You know, I don't know why everybody's got to be sticking their nose into my business. I found a gun and I shot it a few times. Is that such a crime?
Nobody said it was a crime, Donnie. But I just don't like you fooling around with guns.
You just don't like anything I do you? Well, I'm sick and tired of being treated like a 2-year-old. Now, will you leave me alone?
Military organization is based on a chain of command for a very good reason. Any man, including myself, may be a casualty. A general knows he may have to die. But in dying, he never really loses command.
Hey, you really believe all that stuff you read, don't you?
I not only believe it, I live by it.
You mean you'd be ready to die for all of us?
Naturally. You're my troops, and I'm your commander. Here comes our spy. You missed a very good lesson, Private Benson. But I'm glad you're here anyway. What's your intelligence report?
Nothing special.
Nothing special? I saw Cartwright right up. I saw him take that gun away from you. What happened?
Ben Cartwright turned the gun over to the sheriff. I told him I found it.
Those Cartwrights are starting to get in the way quite a bit. It's Joe Cartwright's fault that Sampson's in jail. And now Ben Cartwright takes a gun away from one of our troops. Was the old man the only Cartwright in town?
No, Joe was there, too. I heard him say they were going to ride back to the ranch together.
That's very interesting. All right, men. Operation Yena.
Operation Yena? What's that?
You'll find out. J.W., move out. There'll be no shooting. So leave your guns here at the command post. We don't want a murder charge on us. Not yet.
Mr. Cartwright? You're not House Cartwright.
How you tell? Mr. Horse over by barn.
Mr. Cartwright, come quick. I need help.
What's wrong, buddy? What's happened?
A bunch of us kids were racing, and one of the boys fell off. He's hurt bad. I think it's his back.
Just calm down. I'll be right with you. We'll do what we can.
Third Division across the draw. Attack on my command!
He's right down there, around that bend. I'll go get a wagon.
Second Division, attack!
They're trying to kill him. Napoleon, call him off. You said we weren't going to hurt him. Call them off.
Just watch this, Benson. This is where strategy pays off. Just like the Battle of Jena, catching the enemy completely by surprise. Third Division, attack!
That story about Napoleon sounds almost unbelievable.
I know it does, but it's true. Now, Clem feels it. Oh. Isn't that your brother's horse?
Yeah, it looks like Chub.
What's he doing here? I thought he was working at the house.
So what happened to you?
I got clubbed. Clubbed real bad by a bunch of kids.
Well, this does it, Ben. I gotta find out Napoleon.
There's not much doubt. It's the same bunch of boys.
This not work of little boy. This is work of madman.
It was well planned. Why? I'm going over to the professor's shack and wring it out of him one way or another where this Napoleon is.
Let me go with you.
Oh, you better stay right here, young fella. How do you feel, son?
Oh, I'll be all right, Pa. Be up, madam, in a day or two.
No. My boy Ted wouldn't do a thing like that. You have no proof that he had any part in it at all.
You told me you know the one I've got locked in now, Samson.
Yes. He comes here often. He's my boy's closest friend.
All right, then. The least you can do is come into town with me and talk to him. You can do that much. Maybe you can get it out of him. What's been going on? This Ted Arsenault of yours hasn't been involved. I'd be just as happy as you about it.
I have always trusted Ted. He is an excellent student and a fine boy. If I were to do that, I would be betraying my trust in him.
If you don't do it, you leave me no choice. I'll mount a posse and hunt him down now. Are you coming with me or not?
No, Sheriff, I'm not. Oh, I know you're a good man, but I can't forget that you came here only to accuse a boy who is as close to me as a son. Good night, Sheriff. I'm afraid you made a trip for nothing.
All right, Professor. Have it just your way.
What did he want?
Ted, my boy, I was beginning to worry about you.
I asked you who that was.
Sit down, boy. Sit down. I want to talk to you for a moment.
I can hear standing up. Now you gonna tell me or not?
It was the sheriff from Virginia City. That's what I want to talk to you about.
Those lawmen are all alike. Just because some kids want to have a little fun.
I told him that's what it was, Ted. I knew that's what it was. I knew you wouldn't be involved in anything like raiding a school benefit or beating a man. You wouldn't, would you, Ted?
Why don't you crawl back in your bottle where you belong and leave me alone?
I just wanted you to know, if you ever did get in any kind of trouble, I'd want you to come to me, because I'm here to help you. No matter what the trouble was, I want you to talk to me.
And who wants to talk to an old drunk like you?
Chad? Chad, boy, come back.
I was trying to be reasonable. Donnie just flared up. He hasn't been home all night, Sheriff.
Go ahead, Sheriff. Go chase after little lost boys. Maybe it'll save your neck when my friends come to get me out.
Pipe down in there.
Oh, what's the matter, Sheriff? Getting nervous?
Grace, I'll do everything I can. Now, there has to be an answer to this, and until we get it, just stop worrying yourself to death.
Thank you.
Morning, ma'am. Oh, Grace. Grace, I'm glad we ran into you. We were going to stop by the store to see if you'd sit with us at the school board meeting.
Ben, Clem told me what happened to Hoss. If I thought Donnie had anything to do with that,
No reason to believe that Donnie had anything to do with it.
He ran off yesterday afternoon. He hasn't come back. Oh, Clem, excuse me. I want to ask you something. Did anybody see anything of him? Nobody's turned up yet. Hear anything from Sampson? Did you get anything out of him? Not a word, and I don't think I'm going to, Ben. Well, I better get along to that meeting.
All right, men. You know the plan. We've been through it a dozen times. The minute that town hall bell starts ringing, we move. We'll get the rifles first.
Rifles? You didn't say anything to me about any rifles. Where are we going to get them?
In case you forgot, Private Benson, your mother's store is full of rifles.
I'm not going to rob from my own mother.
You don't have to. All you have to do is let us in.
I won't do it. Go!
You'll do it. All right, men. Open it.
I won't do it, I tell you. It's the way my mother makes her living. It's the only way she's got.
That's very touching, Benson. I know you have a key. Use it.
Hey, you want your own broke? Go ahead, Donnie. I'll break it if you don't. I know he will. Oh, all right. Now, please. Let me go. I don't want to have anything more to do with this.
Let you go and tell the sheriff? I don't think so.
I won't let you do it!
Grab him! Grab him! J.W., go get some rope. Tie him up and gag him.
Wait. This is the gun for you, Napoleon.
All right, sentries. Take your positions. I'll move to my command post. Stay where you are. All of you. The next one moves gets shot. My sentries are covering every inch of the street. I want your sheriff to open the jail and let my friend out. You do that, and we'll leave here quietly. Anybody crosses me up, somebody's gonna get hurt.
No, Sheriff, please. He's just a boy.
Young man, you're going about this the wrong way.
You keep your advice to yourself. All right, where's the sheriff?
I can talk to him. Please let me try.
All right, try. I'm backing up with this gun.
Ted! Ted, listen to me.
Stay out of this!
You know how wrong this is, boy. All those years we've spent studying together, boy. I wasn't preparing you for this.
Shut up, you drunken bum! Who's asking you? All right, get my friend out of jail. or we start shooting.
I've got to stop you, son.
I told you to shut up! All right, boy. Sheriff, you're gonna walk me over to that jail and release Sampson.
As long as I've got your word, there'll be no shooting.
Sheriff, we're gonna walk over there. You want me? You're gonna have to get him. Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
No, don't shoot. He said he'd die for us, didn't he?
I'm gonna give your leader here a chance to show you how much guts he's got. Gonna give him a chance you didn't give my brother. It's just gonna be him and me. Shoot! No, don't shoot.
Right, I saw you beat up an old man. Let's see how brave you are against somebody that's got a gun. Go on, big man, pick it up.
Pick it up! Is this your leader? Is this the man you want to follow?
Thank heaven Donnie wasn't with them.
You Donnie's mother?
Yes. What do you know about him? Where is he? Is he all right?
Yes, he's all right, ma'am. He's over in back of your store. But you better get to him.
Donnie!
Well, I tried to stop him from getting in, but they forced me.
Donnie? Donnie, are you all right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me get you back.
What's going to happen to him, Mr. Cartwright?
Well, I guess Sampson will go back to jail. Napoleon, as he calls himself, he'll have to go to prison. The rest of them, well, they did give themselves up. I guess they'll get about 30 days hard labor.
I have to go with him, Mr. Cartwright.
Donnie, what are you saying?
I was out at the Ponderosa that night, Mr. Cartwright, and I helped trap Hoss. I didn't know he was going to be hurt, but still I was a part of it. Don't you see, Mama? I'm as guilty as they are. I've got to pay, too.
Oh, Donnie. Oh, Ben.
Now, Grace, in many ways, a boy can prove himself a man. Donnie just did it his way.